Hey, welcome out, guys, to another episode of the Struggling Hunters here. I'll get the whole awkward introduction out of the way first, so that way maybe it'd be a little bit more of an enjoyable listening experience for you. But again, welcome. You got, I don't know, I guess it's always interesting too. You have other people, they're like, oh, I'm your host. And, I'll be like, I'm Joe. And then I have here with me Eric. But like we kind of, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, or I don't know, maybe people like it or they don't, but not really quite having a full on host of the Struggling Hunters. I don't feel it's really needed. I don't think. I mean, my ego is just as inflated as Eric's is. So
we both just kind of do the thing. I was speaking of that, I was kind of thinking about that. We probably should have talked about this beforehand, but some podcasts they just kind of, hey, welcome to the Struggling Hunters, for example, and then they just move on. They don't even like introduce their names or anything. And I was like, maybe we should adopt that, because every time we try to introduce our names and try to make a big old introduction, we just always seem to mess it up more than anything. So I don't know, something to probably stir about anyway.
true, true. But anyways, you kind of get back into a little intro here, somewhat. Give the whole, thanks for giving us a listen. We appreciate it. Give us a like, hit the subscribe button. We appreciate it. And if you have any comments or anything, feel free to leave them. It'd be interesting to hear what some of our listeners have to say, whether it's a good job or maybe critiquing us a little bit about what we could do better or whatever it is. Just know, or just give us a comment, and it may or may not affect us. But yeah. But with that being said, we'll get into a little bit more of I guess what the show is tonight. Um, we're sitting here talking, trying to decide what we wanted to discuss, and we've been kind of discussing a little bit turkeys over the last little bit. What we got coming up, our hunts coming up, and um, I don't know. Was there anything you wanted to kind of hit off first, Eric? One or
Well,
over the other?
yeah, I'll get it out of the way. By the time this thing drops, or around the time that this thing drops, I'll be starting my turkey season, and so I'll be doing that. I'm excited for it, ready to get with it. Um, I have a little bit of scheduling conflicts as far as personal stuff with the hunting, but I'll get it in either way. Just opening day is kind of filled with all kinds of stuff, so I'm like, man, that kind of sucks, but I'll figure it out and try to get out there. I'm gonna get out there regardless. It'll be this, well, when this comes out, it'll be the Saturday, or it'll be the Monday or Tuesday after my season has started. But regardless, we'll see how it goes. I plan on trying to get out Saturday evening. I might try to do Saturday morning if I can, but basically I have to go to work for a little while. And so my conflict is do I go to work and get that done and out of the way, or do I uh put work off to the afternoon, do the turkey hunting first, and and then go to work later on. Um I It's kind of funny. I mean, I'm not really time constrained, but I have to go complete a job on Saturday. But it doesn't really matter when on Saturday, but it has to be done on Saturday. So yeah, I'm kind of conflicted with that. But other than that, I mean, I'm gonna still go out regardless, and I'm kind of leaning on just trying to go out in the afternoon and see, maybe go out in the afternoon, and if nothing, if worse comes to worse, I'll have or if worse comes to better, however you want to phrase that, um I'll probably have a good plan for Sunday morning where I want to go and how I want to approach the following day. So either way, I'm excited for it. I wish I could get out there in the morning though. I kind of bums me out, but
Well,
responsibilities.
well, I was gonna say, kind of as you were talking about that, um, you know, whether trying to get out there to hunt in the morning or the evening or the after, anyways, whatever your time, whatever that time frame is going to be. Uh, as I've been trying to look over articles and whatnot to become to understand how to hunt turkeys a little bit better, and one of the things that we've even said it too, trying to become incorporate a little bit more in our hunting practices. But like every like one article I think it was like, oh, you don't need to be out there at daylight to harvest a deer, or sorry, a turkey. When the articles like, oh, I've shot a lot of them at like 10 or 12 in the afternoon or in the morning, and it's just kind of funny or interesting, like we've said it before, and we'll probably keep saying it for years to come, but just those mentalities that get ingrained um into who you are as a hunter as a kid, as far as well, I think you said it in a couple stories, I think I've said it, where you go out in the morning growing up and you're going to do a morning hunt, and um and you're done hunting by like 8 o'clock and the sun's only been up by for 2 hours, but yet they're still moving, going to bed. And then I guess that's what am I trying to get at? It seems like no matter what you're doing, hunting deer, elk, turkeys, there is always a way to hunt them. You kind of got to know, and I guess that's the trick, is kind of where they're going to be at that time of the day. Like what is their habits making them do? Like, I think of course you're going to, turkeys roost in the morning or at night, so they're going to, in the morning they're coming down from their roost to go feed, and so like understanding kind of that type of thing is will help you narrow maybe where they're at and get yourself set up. But anyways, I just was sitting there thinking, like, oh, you're in your head, you're saying, well, if I miss the morning hunt, I might as well not even go hunting because that's the golden hour, which, yeah, I don't know. I, yeah, if that's really a golden hour or not. Most people will say it is, but you, you read articles, watch videos on other professional hunters, I guess, or other successful hunters. And, they're like, oh, I just go out and hunt. And go out with an understanding what the animal, what the quarry may be doing, but and help that to focus in on where you're going to hunt and how you're going to hunt.
Uh, yeah, I think well, I think kind of what you're saying, trying to be the first out there in the woods, and to get the big buck or the biggest turkey, and it's a competition thing, have to get out there early, and I think it's just something that probably
Oh, true.
was adopted over time, oh, gotta get out there early, and but you're right. I mean, how many times have you went out hunting and didn't see nothing, and then on the way home you ran into whatever animal you were pursuing, so
Yeah.
um yeah, I mean, I don't know, those animals, they're kind of on their own schedule, and they're just going to be wherever they're going to be at whatever time they want to be there. I think
Right.
I think they, like, people that are really into it and have their own, or have their specific like a really good turkey hunter, he probably has advantages, like he knows turkeys better than most, and he kind of knows where they'll be, what time they'll be there, and on average it probably is earlier in the morning, but then there's always the outlier chances of the late afternoon or in the middle of the day, as you were saying. So but yeah, I just kind of think, I guess what it comes down to is sometimes, and me and you, we did a podcast on this about uh this was for deer, but thinking outside the box, when everybody's going out in the morning and and causing all that ruckus, but then it's quiet at 10 a.m. in the morning. That's whenever the animals are like, I think it's safe to go out now because these people are all back at camp or whatever the case may be. And I mean, I'm just trying to piggyback off of what you were saying, but I mean, I do think there's some weight to that thought mentality, that sometimes thinking outside the box or not always being there first thing in the morning isn't gonna kill your whole hunt.
Right. And I think that's like the hard thing to adopt into your hunting tactics of, trying to change that and trying to realize and remember, what that species is going to be doing at roughly that time of day. And, I mean, there's factors into everything, but I think that's my weakness, I guess, to say would be that, not really fully comprehending what it whatever it is I'm hunting it, what it's doing that time of the day. You know, I
Right.
I think I always fall back into well, if I move around really quietly, I should see something. And I can't really say, that has really paid off for me too much. But I think if I can change my get my mind to wrap around and to change it, thinking, okay, it's this time of the day, the sun, I guess what the sun's coming from the west, or the east in the morning and the west in the evening. And that kind of comes from a guy that I was listening to, setting up his decoys and where he's setting up according to his decoys, because if he knows which way the turkeys are going to be coming, he's found it better to have the sun in his face, to have the turkeys with the sun behind them, because it's kind of the turkey's defense mechanism that they got to look into the sun. They can't see too well, so they're not really going to pursue.
That makes a ton of sense, actually.
And like I've never really thought of that. And like, but then like I said, like I get out there and I don't clue into trying to think about what's really going on in the animal's world. I just more or less default to, I'm going to walk around in the woods quietly.
Well, I think sometimes, because to relate to what you're saying, I think sometimes is just trying to get in them one way or another. It's like, yeah, I could do all those critiques, but first I want to know that they're even in the area.
Right.
Before I'm worried about where the sun is.
Right. Well,
Let's check off the first thing on the list and make sure they're even in the area.
right. That's like I was saying, like, I think he knows where they're coming from, and then
Right.
he sets up according to that. But trying to find an area, if you don't know where they're at, but trying to find an area where they could be based on the time of day, what they should be doing, is, like I said, I always just don't. Not that I overlook it, I just forget to take it into consideration.
Yeah. Well, I have the same problem. I I think we said this a couple podcasts ago too, about sometimes just trying to take in all the information that would help our chances getting out there, and kind of just falling back to our old habits of what we've always done. and
Right.
kind of forgetting the information that we were gonna quote unquote use. We end up just doing kind of the same old stuff that we always have done, which then sometimes gives us the results that we've always gotten. So
Right. Exactly. And then like you'll end up maybe getting paid off or getting successful at some point. So you're like, yo, I did it.
yep.
I guess with that being said, like I'll say, you know, one of the things that I've slowly learned about elk, and I probably didn't clue into it till the last year or so, year and a half, 2 years, is elk being nomadic. Um, I was, like always like the under the idea, but not fully realizing it that oh, I saw an elk here once before, you know, 15 years ago. They should be in here again. Like,
Yeah.
I, and so instead of trying to find new areas, I'll just go back to the areas where I've seen elk. Now, I think that can work in some areas, but the majority of elk seems to be, and it probably depends on too, cause there's a whole rabbit hole that we can dive down there. I mean, I was gonna say, like, it goes into the time of year you're hunting them, hunting pressure, you know, food habit or food um, availability and water of the year. It's all that goes into consideration. But anyways, back to the original point is like I said, for elk, I was always like, oh, I saw one here once. It should be here again.
Well, I think there's something to be said about that though, because obviously they're nomadic, but if you've seen an elk or in an area at some point, I mean, maybe 15 years is a stretch, but they obviously like going through that area for one reason or another. A lot of food, migration route. I mean, which I saw some a while back about they were talking about elk and migration routes. And I don't know if in general I wish I could have remembered what I was it was something that I was watching on TV or something. Like but they were talking about elk and migration routes and I think with elk they're not really known for migration route, if that makes sense. Like nobody talks about the great elk migration routes. But
Okay.
they yeah, I feel really I feel out of place talking about this because I can't remember what show it was. I can't remember. I just remember seeing it on TV and they're talking about how they're studying elk and how they kind of have more of a migration route than we've ever probably given them credit for.
Interesting.
Yeah, it might have been a YouTube thing too that I was watching. I can't remember, but I just remember hearing that and I kind of put it away in my arsenal of information, but obviously it was very vague information that I remembered anyway.
But
But
yeah, I guess I just took us down a whole rabbit hole there.
yeah, we went from turkey to elk in like 2.2 seconds.
Right. Just because it has trying to make a point. Um,
But well, one thing about the turkey hunt though is I'm gonna me and Joe were talking about it and I'm gonna do my best at taking some footage of it and kind of doing like a turkey vlog to get some to get a little bit of content out there and do the thing that way. I mean, I'm obviously always in hopes that like, go out there the first day, get my turkey and call it a hunting season, but it'll probably go long, but I'm kind of in hopes that I can make a short video of it and go out there and get me a turkey right away, but we'll see what happens.
you
Uh
will. You will.
Yeah,
You'll
yeah.
make it happen.
I'm preparing for a long season, but I'm also, I feel like well, I know for a fact I'm jumping on it a lot faster this year than I did last year. And so, and last year was the first time that I uh ever went turkey hunting. So I'm jumping on it a few weeks earlier. So I'm kind of hoping that it increases the chances because of pressure and all that. Get out there a little earlier is what I'm hoping for. So,
Yeah. See how that goes. It should go. It'll go well for you.
but I'm excited. But to go kind of go back to the filming part though, I'm excited to do some more vlogging this year for the struggling hunters. Uh, Even whenever it comes to the regular hunting, I want to do more for elk and deer hunting, and that is if I get my draw tag for the deer at least. But I'm excited to do some more filming for the channel and see where that how that road where that road takes us, I guess.
Yeah, that'll be fun. I'm
Yeah.
interested to see how it all goes. Like, yeah, this is gonna be a fun year. I I'll go. We learned a handful last year. Just one handful is all we learned. Um, Hopefully this year we will learn a second handful. But it's not to really go down that, but it's this I'm kind of looking forward to this year as to see where our growth has taken us as far as maybe being a little bit more successful. Well, being successful and just keep hunting. Like it's I guess that's one of the reasons I hunt every year is to see what happens, and I always look forward to it.
Keep pushing through those struggles.
Yep, every year pushing in through those struggles.
Yep. Yep. We definitely I think it's past due for a little bit of success our way
Yeah.
in the woods. So one of us has to be successful this year for sure. Not I mean, knock on wood, but one of us have to be successful in something.
We will be. We will be. But I guess what kind of to tie up the wild or the turkeys is not that we have to go too deep into it, but we were sitting here talking and then I was telling Eric that like this I'll go ahead and say it that how turkey dumb I am. Like my understanding of turkeys. I knew there was different species, but I kind of just always took turkey as a turkey. And I was telling Eric, I was like, hey, I was looking at some Instagram pictures of people hunting turkeys and I was like, it was fascinating to me how some of those turkeys had some color to them. And not I always just think of a turkey as kind of a with some tans, browns, and blacks, and then of course they're at least the toms their face will change colors, blue and red. But and then we just for a quick thing, what did we come up with that there was 5, 6 different species?
Yeah, the one website that we were looking at we had 6.
But
The-
anyways, and like I said, I just a little turkey trivia for you that there's I think that there is I think there's 5 like the ones that
Well, let's see the Rio Grande, the
Rio Grande, the Merriams,
the Merriams.
and then how do you say is it? Do you say that Goulds?
I want to say okay, the Golds, the Eastern Wild Turkey. Oh, you're right. There is only 5. Why did I think 6? Um, and then I don't know how I'm gonna take a crack at this, but the oscillated wild turkey
Uh huh.
in Central America is that
I'll buy that. Or do you say or ocellated turkeys?
Oscillate, oscillated.
Yeah, I might be oscillated. It's probably oscillated, but
But yeah, I think for the most part, the turkeys that, well, it actually, there's a map here that said that Utah has more spots of the Rio Grande, and
uh-huh.
and there's some Merriams over there too, and what was the
They just had
hybridized
that
subspecies, which I don't know what they mean by that, but
right.
and then Colorado's mostly Merriams, and then uh, over on the eastern side of Colorado, it's some Rio Grande, little veins of Rio Grande. So
But yeah, I
it's
just
interesting though that there's that many different types of turkeys.
right, right. Yeah, and I didn't. Yeah, like I think it's going to be on my bucket list here to add. I'd like to get one of those turkeys with a little bit more color in them. I think I say I want to like to get one. I'm probably going to be like 10 or 15 years before I actually get out and go hunting one. But I think it was the oscillated wild turkey that had the color in it that I saw.
Oh yeah, the from the picture that yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, those are some crazy looking birds.
yeah. It's almost like a peacock, almost, just with shorter feathers.
Kinda, yeah, you're right. Yeah, it'd be kind of cool to get one of those. Oh, but well, yeah, good luck with that because it's not found in North America, so they don't have
I
much
thought,
information on it.
well, I guess it depends. There's some in Florida.
Oh,
Wait,
did
no,
they say that?
no, I take that back. That isn't Florida. That's south. That's in Mexico somewhere.
Yeah, they say it's all. You might be able to find some on the border of Arizona there.
Well, then I guess I should be careful with what I say.
Yeah, it's interesting though. I don't know, I guess our second year doing the thing with turkey hunting, it's a lot of new information about turkeys. I mean, I just thought a turkey was a turkey.
Right, me too. That's like it's kind of funny. Like I think we said it before. We're saying that a lot tonight. Just how little like I actually knew of hunting. Like I can kind of always carry on a conversation, but like to actually get in and all these subspecies and all these other little things, like there was more to it than what I actually ever gave it credit.
Yeah, it's kind of funny bringing that into a podcast. It's the whole podcast thing. Like, I mean, I always thought I could talk the talk with hunting too, and then we do the podcast, and you kind of want to double check yourself or make sure you're saying the right stuff, but because there's that one guy is gonna, there's always that guy, especially online, that's gonna say something. So it's kind of a little nerve wracking that way whenever you're like, well, I'm gonna spit you some facts, and then you're like, wait a minute, are they really facts, or maybe I should
Right.
look this up before I spit real facts here. So, eh, um, but I don't know. That's kind of where I like where we're at because I think sometimes we try to be too honest to a fault or whatnot, and we kind of downplay our experience, and
Right.
um, you know sometimes I think, well, we're not quite that bad. I know we're the struggling hunters, but we're not the worst hunters.
Right. True. True. Oh,
We kind of know what we're doing sometimes.
yeah. We can definitely get ourselves out in the woods. That's a good start.
We kind of know where they are, where the woods are.
Yeah, we can find that.
We don't pay a fee to get in the national park and then say that we went out to the woods.
Right. Uh,
I don't know. I don't know where to go with that. I was trying to
uh,
think of some more one-liners, but I couldn't. I couldn't think
I
of
was
any.
trying to do the same thing. I was like, oh man, I can't get it anymore. But I was going to throw in there. It's kind of interesting. Kind of, I'll do a whole change of topics. And me and my wife went out to Cabela's Friday, and mostly we were gonna, with it being spring weather, I was telling her, I was like, yeah, we should go get you a new pair of boots, and we can start getting up early on Saturdays and go for hikes, and you know, and get out and kind of couple birds with a couple stones there, just one getting out in the trails, and then two looking for whatever wildlife is out there. But so anyways, we go in, and we go over by the boots, and we turn down the women's side, and like there's really not a selection of I probably should have asked someone, but there was no selection of women's hiking boots. Like
Hmm.
they had a couple, but there was nothing to really choose from. And then, but which was kind of odd. I don't know if it's like a COVID thing, or people being out more or thinking they're going to be out more. So, or if it was that having that ship stuck in that canal that backed everything up from getting here. Um,
Oh, I didn't hear about that. Fill
uh,
me in.
so there's a big ship that was stuck. I think it was in Egypt, in a canal that's, I think it's like 400 feet wide, and it's like 100 miles long. Um, and I you want to say that the driver was like, "Oh, here, hold my beer, I can get through that." But I guess what it was like the wind picked up, um, and it kind of made the ship kind of turn and get stuck. The ship was wide long enough to go from one side of the canal to the other, and it got stuck in the canal and couldn't get out for a
Wow.
few days. And it was like getting getting things backed up in the Suez Canal is where it was. So the ship was like 400 yards long, and then like I don't remember how wide, but anyway, so like yeah, so like that's a big canal. So that they have to, I think it was it Egypt? Now I got all my facts. Then they have to, if to get around it, it adds an extra like 9 days to the shipping process. So they like to use this canal. And then because it was stuck in there for a couple of days, it backed up a bunch of shipping ships. And like there were some ships that had livestock on them that had enough food and water to keep the livestock alive just for the length of the voyage. And
Oh
because they're
wow.
stuck out sea, like I think they're getting worried that some of the livestock is going to start having some issues. But
So did they get caught up on like a sandbar or something? Is that part of the problem?
um,
I'm looking at pictures here and it looked like it was wide enough. It just maybe the water was too low or something maybe.
well, it was so um, let's see. So there was high winds and a sandstorm that pushed the ship sideways into both banks of the water.
Oh, okay.
So I guess, it just, I don't know if it
Oh,
just
I
couldn't see as well or what. So it got itself kind of like wedged in the
wedged
canal.
itself in there. Dude,
Yeah.
that's amazing how many shipping containers are on that boat.
Yeah. I think there's like
That
100,000.
100,000.
Let me Google that. I will ask.
Well, regardless, there's a ton for sure. It's amazing. That boat makes those containers look small too.
Yeah. Oh, I container facts. Well, I won't worry. But yeah, like there's a lot. And I can, so there's, like there's a lot of goods going through there. So
Yeah.
like I said, I don't know if that had something to do with it, but I kind of doubt it where there was sold out for so much. I think it was just everybody, spring is here and spring break has just happened and everybody getting fed up with the Rona trying to get out to do stuff.
Yeah, I wonder if it'll be a continuation of last year because I feel like last year was the same way. As soon as the weather started getting nicer, we went up. Well, I was turkey hunting and I couldn't believe how busy it was out there in the woods so early in the year. I was like, man, it's crazy. I would have thought that they would have. I don't know. I'd never seen that many campers out so early, and
Yeah.
it wasn't like there wasn't a special weekend or anything. It wasn't like Memorial Day weekend or anything. It
Right.
was just a regular weekend, and like every spot along the every camp spot as I was driving out in the woods was taken up. I was like, man, this is crazy.
Right. And then kind of, I guess, to switch topics a little bit again, while I was at Cabela's, I thought I'd go down the ammo aisle. I didn't, their shells look bare, but I was looking for some shotgun shells and they only had two boxes and I didn't look to see what shot they were or what they were because there's like three or four people in the aisle and it just would have been too awkward to go stand there and look at them and then keep going. But I could read that the price was like the price was $45 for a box of shotgun shells.
Yeah, it's man. Well, the sad thing about it is even whenever we get out of this ammo shortage, the price of those bullets probably won't go ever go back down to what they were.
Yeah, it might take I might take a few years for that to happen with the amount of, I think January was another high selling gun month.
Really?
Yeah. And so, like with everyone buying guns, I think it's gonna, it might take a while for it to actually start leveling out and becoming cheap again when everyone, starts getting with what they feel they got what they need. But it's definitely interesting just to have a shortage, but I think that the shortage is more on the fact that there's so many more gun owners than anything else, not the
Yeah,
fact of things not being sold because of other reasons.
yeah, I think so too. I think oh wow, I'm kind of surprised about this. When did this come out? Oh, in February, or let's see, almost 23 million guns were sold in 2020. 23 million guns. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Um, God, you try to find some stats on this, and half of it's political. Uh, it said that it dropped. Yeah, gun sales slowed down in February. Showed 10% jump over year over. Huh. Firearms background checks or So it sounds like they passed a bill to make the background checks more of a pain,
Huh.
but that's not what I'm looking for. So small arms. So 1.5 million guns sold in February 2021. But it's only, but there was one. Okay, so from what I'm reading here, there was 1.5 million guns sold in February of 2021. Oh, it's still the third highest February on record, behind 1.6 in 2016 and 1.7 in 2013.
Huh.
So I don't know if that's any good information, but oh, did you hear that?
No.
Oh, I had an ad pop up on the website.
Oh.
I thought my house was falling down at first. I was like, what? Anyway, yeah, man, it's, I don't know. It's crazy. I hope that we get back to normal at some point, even if we have to pay a little more money for our ammo. I feel like, well, I feel like we've kind of said this before. Here we are again saying that same stuff. Uh, I feel like we, uh, I mean, I feel like it's gonna change the way I buy bullets. Like I kind of want to start really stocking up. Not necessarily hoard bullet, or like I'm not gonna go down to the store and buy 50 boxes at a time or anything like that. But like once we get out of this shortage and stuff, it kind of makes me want to, like, every payday or something, go out and buy a few boxes for
Right.
for the fall. Just buy a few boxes every time I get paid. Kind of make it part of my budget or something. So if you ever go through an ammo shortage again, I can at least I'll have my bullets.
Right. Right.
Me and my wife went out shooting our pistols. We got pistols not too long ago. Um and because of the ammo shortage and stuff, like, we had our two boxes, but um yeah, I kind of, instead of having fun and shooting all our ammo up and being like, oh, that was cool, let's go get more ammo or whatever, it was like, hold on to, like, let's shoot a little bit, but we got to hold on to some of our ammo here. So
Right. Yeah. Makes you look at it a little different.
yeah, well, and I'm doing that with, I don't have quite as much ammo for my hunting rifle as I would like. And so I'm like, well, I don't know, I kind of feel like I'm between a rock and a hard place, because I can't I had big plans of, like, once a month at least I'm going to go out and shoot a few rounds through the rifle, and so I can stay up with it and do the thing. And yeah, I just can't. I'm like, with this ammo shortage, so I'm like, I don't dare shoot my rifles right now until, save it for hunting season,
Yeah. Save it till you get that next box. So
till I
that
can
way
at
you
least
have
get
one to,
another. Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. I need to probably get better about stopping in there and, stopping in at Cabela's or whatnot, or all of them actually, like, first thing Saturday morning or something, try to be one of the first ones in there. Hey, you got any ammo?
Yeah.
They'll probably always tell me no, but maybe if once in a blue moon. What really sucks is, so they have ammo, right? But, like, the only way you can get ammo is if you buy a gun. So it sucks because they're like, oh no, we don't got no ammo. But it's like, well, how much ammo are you holding back there? Like, could you spare one box?
Yeah. 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 That's, huh.
But yeah, we live in crazy times. That's for sure.
We do. Well, on that note, being crazy times, I don't. We've been at this for about 45 minutes. You want to wrap it up, or do you have another? I don't. If you have another topic you want to discuss, I'm good with that too. Or
No, I think I'm good, man. We can get out of here and I'll go ahead and get us out of here. But it was fun doing another one. Um, it definitely. I mean, we're at 51, so next week we'll be at 52, and we're still doing the thing.
yeah, and that's I gotta say it's been fun. Like it's I think that's why I'm excited for this year. Not to go down the hole as we're trying to wrap it up, but spending a year talking about hunting techniques or scenarios or tips or whatever. Like I've tried reading about them throughout the year, but I've never spent like time really discussing them for a year. So I'm hoping that like doing like we have been is going to help paying off this year.
Yeah, I'm hoping to, and I think it's really helped keep us engaged, keeping our minds kind of steady on more, staying more focused toward the hunting aspects of how we can get better. It's
Right.
kept us more engaged throughout the whole entire year instead of because I think it kind of happens to every average hunter, if you will, and you get your tags, you do the hunt thing, and then it's over. Whether you're successful or not, it's over, and you kind of just put it behind you for another year. And being able to do this podcast, that's been the funnest part about it, is just staying with it and talking about it every week, and kind of putting these little seeds in each other's mind, and saying, oh, try this and we should try that, and it's just fun, just keeping us more engaged with the hunting world more so than ever before. So I really enjoy it for that aspect, is just being able to talk about something that we're passionate about. It's fun. I mean, that's what everybody likes to do. So
Yeah. 100%.
with that said, though, guys, we'll get out of here. As always, thank you guys for listening, giving us a shot. Really appreciate it. And keep listening, subscribe to us, give us a like, leave a comment, uh, and we will see you in the next one. Have a good one, guys. Talk to you later.
Later.